So, hey everyone, just going to show you this beautiful sunshine across this field. And this is going to be fairly brief because I don't have a great deal of battery left. I just listened to some WhatsApp messages from a friend, but I just wanted to really briefly touch on something that I don't know has been really kind of in my mind recently, which is if you can cast your mind back to 2012. So what's that now? 14 years ago, and it was Queen's Jubilee weekend, and I was in hospital this was on the weekend. On the Monday I'd started having pains in my stomach, and I still ate meat at the time, and I had eaten some oxtail soup, and I thought, oh, maybe it was, the food was bad, or I didn't cook it properly or something. So I thought it was that, right? And then through the week, I have these horrible stabbing pains. And on the Friday evening, went to bed, and I was in agony. I was like curled up in the fetal position. Really unwell, and my partner, my now ex, my partner at the time, was a little bit of a hypochondriac. But in this instance, she was like, "Oh, you need to go to the hospital. I'm ringing an ambulance." Rung an ambulance that I haven't got any, but there's a doctor at the hospital if you can go. And I was living in the town at the time, so I was like, "Yeah, okay, fine, I'll go get checked out." Because actually, by this time, I actually felt okay. Went to the hospital, and the doctor. This was like midnight. And the doctor's like, "Oh, yeah, I think your appendix is rupturing." So anyway, they took me in, did loads of tests and everything. And my ex, she stayed with me through all of this, which was good. I mean, I've been hospitalised since by myself, and it's not a nice experience. So in spite of everything, I'm grateful that she was there for that. But anyway, on the Saturday, they did all these tests and everything. They said, "Yeah, we're going to need to get your appendix out." So I remember being wheeled into a room, and then they were like, "Okay, we're going to put you under." And I weirdly remember being knocked out. It's a really strange sensation. And I remember laughing, and I remember being knocked out. And then coming to in another room, like after everything, it actually turned out it was a lot worse than I thought. I actually had peritonitis. It had ruptured. Infection, whatever, was sort of getting into my system, and they had to cut me open and clean me out, and I had a 6-week recovery, But now I look back and I think, where does the consciousness go? Because being under anaesthetic is not the same as being asleep. You don't dream. The brain doesn't go to the same place, if you like. And then, of course, you think, when I came around, like the consultant came in the evening and he said, "You're really lucky. Like, if it had been very much longer, there's a very good chance you wouldn't have survived." And you kind of think, if these theories about like quantum immortality are right, then, in a reality, I did not survive that operation. Clearly my consciousness continued within the reality where I did, but I felt ever kind of since then, it's as though the universe doesn't really seem to know what to do with me. To a degree at least. There've definitely been pointers in certain directions. But it's an odd feeling. It's an odd sort of questioning, like, am I really supposed to actually be here? And there's just been sort of since then, to an extent at least, it's kind of like, oh, well, might as well do this, because there's not really been a a very strong particular direction. And I think particularly being the age I am, and I don't have a partner, I don't have children, you know, I keep kind of trying and just getting shot down, and it's like, well, what am I supposed to be doing? But for some reason that having that anaesthetic, like I haven't had it since, certainly haven't had a general anaesthetic since, like that makes you wonder, you know. And then, you know how they say that like every choice, both options play out, you know, in like a parallel reality. It's like really, it's quite kind of mind bending. I don't suppose I really had a particular point I wanted to make, but it's, I don't know, it's just been kind of on my mind, like, was I supposed to survive? You know? Where does the consciousness go? And they don't really know at that point. Like I say, you don't dream, so it's a different state that you're in. But I mean, look at this. Like, how can you not love being alive when you've got this kind of thing to look at? Look at it. Look at it. Breathtaking. And I was talking to a friend earlier, and it was sort of about, you know, when you're thinking about these things, quantum immortality and quantum physics and the nature of the universe and God and creation and then you think most people just want to talk about football and soap operas and getting drunk and picking up women or men, you know, and it's just like, oh, I can't fathom it. I can't fathom operating on that level. But it's so difficult, I think, to find other people who are interested in these things. I'm grateful I do have some very dear friends who I can talk about these things with, but you know, it's not many. And I think that the people I work with, you know, none of them are really interested in this kind of thing. Well, one or two, you know, they're kind of they're interesting. They're a little bit different. One guy I work with is, you know, he's very interested in things like UFOs, extraterrestrials, and that sort of thing, which I'm down with that, you know. I find that interesting. But overall, it's different. But yeah, it makes you think. And I don't know, maybe this will go how the algorithm will work its magic and link me up with other people who are this kind of way, and I don't know, maybe provide some inspiration for where to go with it. But for now, I'm just going to leave you with just a view of the sunshine. It's like, what time is it? 6 o'clock-ish. So it's just starting to come down, but this countryside. See you in the next one.